Hey, so the question is, how did I get from here to here? And well, I guess it's up to me to show you how. I don't know why I said it all dramatic like that. I'm choosing to show you. Anyway, so like every video I do, I begin by toning my canvas, and I mean, it's self-explanatory at this point. But yeah, like I was getting to, the first medium I always use is just plain old paint thinner. And as you can see, I wipe it away, leaving me with a nice toned canvas, which is very important because it gives us a neutral starting point to gauge everything. And well, would you look at that already? The second medium I use is Liquid Original, which pretty much just spreads the paint farther while keeping the same sort of vibrancy, sort of like a cheat code, but not really. By the way, if you're wondering where I got that reference photo, I took it myself. Yes, I actually made jelly toast, sat it on some yellow fabric, got the lighting right, and took the picture. I've become somewhat of a food expert with all these paintings I've been doing. And this isn't necessary at all, but I wanted a very high quality and detailed picture to go off of. And I'm ashamed to admit, I didn't even eat the toast. I threw it away right after, so yeah, whatever, sue me. I have to be in a unique mood to just eat that in the middle of the day, and unfortunately, I wasn't feeling very unique. Speaking of unique, I've done this kind of painting a couple times before, and I've gone more in depth in how I developed these unique textures in my class on Skillshare. Link in the description below. Sometimes I even amaze myself at how good these segues are. The palette knife is going to be your best friend when it comes to getting strong textures. I even use it in some of my more traditional paintings, but in those cases, the palette knife, I guess, isn't my best friend, it's more of just an accomplice. And one of the best parts of the palette knife is how satisfying it sounds. Just listen to this. Alright, that's enough of that. This isn't an ASMR video. I guess I should get back to explaining what I'm actually doing here again. On the palette knife is a mixture of paint and Liquid Original, but it's less than I was using before. Every layer that you put on top should have a lesser proportion of medium to paint. And you may have heard of other artists describing this as the fat over lean principle. Which makes sense, but I always found it to sound a little strange. Like we're talking about a cut of meat or something, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Eventually, after adding all of these textures and alternating between lighter and darker colors to create a little depth and detail, we get to what I would deem the fun part. This is the part that would get put in a satisfying videos compilation or something. Mixing the colors. What I have here is alizarin crimson, and later on I'm gonna add some cadmium red and permanent magenta. And I'm balancing it out in a way to make it look like actual jelly, which was slightly more difficult than you would think. Oh, and don't let me forget to mention the secret ingredient here. The third medium I'm using here, which is Winsor & Newton Impasto medium. I'll give my secret away. This medium is different from the medium I used in my painting of peanut butter toast, which I go over in that Skillshare class I plugged earlier. But this medium here allows the paint to keep its form and thickness, and it stiffens up while also maintaining its saturation and even has a shiny finish to it. Perfect for what I wanted to accomplish. And no, that wasn't an ad, but it sure sounded like one. So I just continued to play around with this for, I'm not even joking, probably 10 minutes of just straight mixing here. I mean, I wanted this thing to be very accurate, and I almost messed up by underestimating the power of cadmium red. Never underestimate the power of cadmium red. Now, you know how I was saying that this part that I just did was the most satisfying part of the painting? Well, I guess you could call that a lie. You call me a liar if you want, but this part right here is the most satisfying part of the painting. Putting the mixture that we just mixed onto the canvas, and boy, was it satisfying. It got so serious I even had to bring out the longer palette knife, the palette knife that sort of resembles, I don't know, a spready real knife. Anyway, the point is I brought out the heavy duty palette knife to do the real work here. The trick here is to not do too much. Just do it in a way that sort of makes it look natural, or else you make mistakes like you see here. And tip of the day, I use a Q-tip to sort of remove the paint that I make mistakes with that kind of goes over the edge. So yeah, transparency. I mess up every now and then. The last thing to kind of take away here is, of course, using mediums helps with, changing the consistency of the paint, making it easier to get contrast. And there's a lot of levels to contrast. There's contrast of texture, color, lightness and darkness, value. So keep that in mind when you're painting. Also, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.